The walls of my grandmother's house were like a sleeping creature at the edge of the village. Its stone walls breathed with the damp of centuries, and its wooden beams whispered tales of the dead. I wouldn't have visited if not for my grandmother's mysterious will. Take care of the house, my grandson, for it has a particular hunger. But I never imagined that hunger could have a voice. On the first night, after the sun had retreated behind the mountain, leaving the world to the darkness and the crickets, I heard it for the first time. It wasn't clear words, but overlapping whispers emerging from the dark corners, as if the very stones were moaning. "We are hungry." I jolted upright in my wooden bed, my heart pounding like a mad drum. The darkness was thick, suffocating. Another whisper, clearer this time, came from directly behind my head. "We are hungry, and there are bones buried in our corridors." The voice was like the rustle of dead autumn leaves mixed with the sound of grinding stones. My body shivered. It wasn't my imagination. The walls were speaking. I grabbed my flashlight and left the room, my hands trembling. The whispers followed me down the long hallway, emerging from every crack, pursuing me like a parasitic entity. The hunger, the ancient hunger. The basement corridor was a low wooden door which I hadn't opened since my arrival. The whispers were coming from beneath it, stronger, more urgent. The bones, to feed the bones. With a shaking hand, I pushed the door. It opened with difficulty, creating an annoying creak. The smell of damp earth and mold attacked my nostrils. The wooden stairs were decayed, leading down into black darkness. I descended slowly, the flashlight revealing a forgotten cellar. In the corner, under a pile of aged, waxed canvas, I found the first bone. It was a human femur, worn but clear. I let out a stifled scream. The whispers around me became frantic cheers. "More! More!" I dug with my trembling hands. The floor was soft. More bones began to appear. Skulls, ribs, arm bones. They weren't from one person, but from dozens. Human remains mixed with animal bones. Among the bones, something metallic glinted. I picked it up. It was an old silver pendant engraved with my family's crest, and in a weathered leather journal, I found the diary of my great-great-great-grandfather written in a frantic script. "Today we decided to sacrifice the youngest sister to stop the famine. The walls are pleased, we are healed." My heart stopped. Page after page spoke of a famine that hit the village 200 years ago. How my ancestors offered human sacrifices to the walls, believing the house was a living being that needed feeding. How they buried the victims in the corridor, and how disease and famine ceased after each sacrifice. The whispers were now clear, boastful. "We protect you. We feed you for a few bones." But the real surprise was in the final pages. A schematic diagram of the house showing a secret room behind the cellar. By chance, I found the stone that opened it. Inside the room, I found no remains, but a treasure trove of documents. Letters from village leaders thanking my family for their sacrifices that saved the region from epidemics. Deeds of sale and purchase with wealthy people from distant cities, offering sacrificial services in exchange for vast fortunes. The house wasn't haunted by evil spirits. It was a programmed killing machine. The walls weren't hungry for bones. My ancestors were hungry for power and wealth, hiding behind a silly superstition to commit the most heinous crimes. The whispers continued, but they no longer frightened me. "Feed us, as your ancestors did." I smiled grimly as I pulled out my phone. The whispers were nothing but echoes of past crimes. Old audio recordings hidden in the walls, perhaps to intimidate future generations and keep the secret. But I decided to break this cycle. I would turn this house into a museum for organized crime under the guise of superstition. I would turn the hunger of the walls into a lesson for humanity about how to turn humans into monsters. The whispers still murmured, "We are hungry." I answered them as I climbed back up. "You will be satiated with truths, not with lies." It was the end of the horror, but it was the beginning of the interesting truth. For the truth, however harsh, is the only antidote to superstition.